When it comes to the reality of how we all choose to carry ourselves, it's hard to judge it on our own. It's definitely a whole lot easier for us to ask for a second opinion or see what somebody from the outside perspective thinks. It's something that we contemplate every day, ever since we were kids. Some of you guys might have even looked down at your socks and because they weren't Nike Elites, felt inferior to the rich assholes whose parents could afford to spend $20 on one pair of socks. Shit, my parents spent me to school in the hood with a pair of and ones on, but that's besides the point. How's it going, everyone? Flare HD here, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, I figured I'd take a couple minutes to discuss the state of these streamers and some of the problems and drama these guys got going on right now. But more importantly, how I think all this stuff connects to the real world and how we should choose to approach giving these guys the ability to inspire and direct how their followers choose to live their lives. I've never really been the kind of guy that's been tapped in with all these streamers because I'm totally against it, or at least how all their morals and objectives align. But lately, I've been forced to see some of this drama regarding this Hasan Piker dude and this more Pegasus guy, which seems to be a complete enigma who's giving me shades of 2016 Leafy. And the news that I'm sure everyone's been hearing about, the situation regarding this garden tool and this 24-year-old Kai Cenat who can't seem to help but complain about his mental health problems. You know this boy must have came up real hard.
Bruh, look at this dude.
I can tell you guys one thing. If I came up dressing like that as a kid, I probably wouldn't have been asked if I was going to be a Crip or a Blood in the third grade. You guys would die to know what I answered to that question, but that's a topic for a different video. To get ourselves back on track, this man Kai Cenat has lived a life that has seemed to lead him to not be aware of his surroundings and to not keep his swords sharp at all times. It's an age-old conversation. With money comes power, and with that sort of power comes dumbass decisions. And it seems that this boy from the start has had no clue who he really is or his position. I'll dive into that level of ideology a little bit later. Knowing thyself. Now, for as long as I've known this Kai dude, he seems to leave himself in positions like this where he's getting used, but more importantly than that, getting embarrassed by these women. I've been hearing conversations about this video clip, the girl rapping and talking smack in front of him in the car, but I actually had the ability to watch those videos this morning, and I just felt gross. I heard nothing more coming out of that woman's mouth than the language of river trout. And that's being generous. She looks like if she gets too close to the camera, she might melt it. Man, it looks like someone gave this girl's Dragon Breath a Zenkai boost. But all jokes aside, she obviously looks like the kind of woman that does not carry herself well at all. A lot of these younger women tend to revolve themselves around this sort of party culture or irresponsibility that gives a lot of them a bad representation. There does seem to be good women out there that know how to hold it down and know that keeping yourself grounded is a good way to know your position. And keeping a level-headed mind, not being too antsy or too unaware of the moment you're in, will prevent things like this from happening. But that seems to be a topic that coincides with this debate of a current word that's been going around lately. Now, I'm definitely going to sound like Myron Gaines when I say this, but there is a level of what's going on there that is acceptable, and there's a level that's not. As a dude with that kind of money, when you're in that position, you're going to have women that throw themselves at you, trying to use you, and that's why all these girls with BBLs that are more uneven than the brain mass in their noggin try to rip out their IG handle every time they're in front of a camera, like they're young dagger dick. If you know, you know. This problem seems to stem from these guys not being able to decipher the difference between a bad girl, another one that they think is different from the first, and one that's actually got good morals. You got people out here that say Kai should have shot his ball with this Tyler girl, like this girl's body count isn't higher than her IQ. Now, truthfully, I don't believe that this situation deserves as much attention as I'm giving it, but with so many people commenting on it lately, I figured I'd give my take and try to relate it to a real world view in some sort of way. I believe that these guys are representing themselves incorrectly, and that's going to lead us into our next topic. Now, this is what I really wanted to get into, and I'm fairly new to everything that's going on here, so bear with me. This Hasan Piker dude and this more Pegasus guy. I've had the privilege of learning who these guys were over the past couple of days due to my brother informing me on what's been going on, but with more Pegasus, it's his content style, and my brother believed that he would be a good person for me to watch and sharpen my skills, but more importantly, bring all this stuff to the next level. And honestly, I love what this man does. He keeps it all a buck, never does he talk about stuff that doesn't relate to good morals, and he takes the right perspective on things without allowing himself to be fogged by the position he's in with Twitch or YouTube, which is the exact opposite from what all these other dudes got going on. This Hasan Piker dude is an absolute demon. I seen him do some stuff that's been going viral. This guy giving his dog the Green Mile treatment.
I was afraid of the dog.
Now, for a sick guy like myself, I figured that was something I could let go, as there was a lot to talk about there. Tape over the prongs and all other sorts of variables that I'm not going to dive into because they seem absolutely unimportant to me. It's the fact that this man does have a collar on his dog, and the idea that this dog should sit in front of the camera as if he's some sort of garden gnome. I would absolutely slap the Let me stop. I don't want to get too carried away, but I'm sure you guys all feel the same level of agitation when you see a guy that's almost 40 years old who thinks he's 20 Definitely won't eat a Baconator from Wendy's, but will most certainly divide that age in half and pull a Leonardo DiCaprio. It's kind of like those biblical pictures you see. Sometimes the devil looks like a charming guy with a nice suit on, and the Lord looks like a guy who's shaking for change. But there seems to be some sort of power with me being able to go on this sort of tangent. This says a lot about this more Pegasus guy. He looks like he'll kick you out of a 7-Eleven while trying to call your grandma and take her rupees. And not even to start with the voice, it sounds like something you shouldn't even be able to watch with enjoyment. But I mean that with no disrespect. That's just keeping it real. But it's the fact that we can watch this dude's videos and the fact that he relates it to such good points of view that makes it so powerful. I don't know how a guy like this Hasan guy is able to keep up with these millions of dollars and hasn't completely fallen to hell yet. This guy's totally corrupt, doesn't deserve the money, doesn't know what it's like to struggle at all, and karma's definitely coming his way. There's no doubt that I didn't need to make this video whatsoever, but with everyone talking about it, like I said before, I felt I should give my take. I got a lot of motivation and energy in me, especially when it comes to dudes that don't appreciate what things are, like this Hasan guy. This Pegasus dude, I'll say it one more time, is a complete enigma, and I'm very happy with what he's got going on. I plan on tuning in, and I'll keep referring to this guy for future content because I think he's a great inspiration. If none of you guys have checked him out, you definitely should. The fact that I'm not going to drop any plugs for Hasan, but the fact I'm talking about this guy at all in the first place should show you guys that he's got a good message, or at least it's something worth listening to in the first place. But I'll stop rambling on. There's honestly nothing more funnier in my head than me imagining this Hasan guy finding this video, trying to react it, and fire him back because he can't. The dude knows what kind of guy I am based on the way I talk and the way I approach things. I definitely didn't even pull my full intelligence into this video, but I hope you guys did all enjoy it. If you guys stuck around to this point, be sure to drop a comment in the section below on what your guys' favorite part of this whole drama, all this stuff going on is. Feel free to show some free love and support to the channel by dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. This has been Flare HD, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.